Hello crafty friends, Eileen here. I posted both of these cards onto social media last week and they collected so many kind comments from you. Thank you so much, and lots of interest. That was very kind. And I promised that I would do a video tutorial. I had a few requests through, and this is it. This is the video tutorial that I'm doing. I'm going to start off with this one, and then I'm going to do a separate one for this one. And the reason I'm doing that is, if I make a reasonable job of this one and then go straight in to show you this one, which is the same technique, of course, but slightly different design and colours and stamps. But if I did this following on and made a total mess of it, I wouldn't really know how to edit it away from this one, so I'm keeping them both totally separate. Starting with this one then, let's go. Piece of copy paper, or a couple. I have my stamp pad here. I'm using Distress Inks in Age Mahogany, Tumbled Glass, Victorian Velvet, Scattered Straw. I'm also using Archival Inks in Orange Blossom and Seafarer. A piece of multifarious cardstock in white, 10 centimetres by 15 centimetres, and a few brushes. Now these brushes are, I got them from Amazon, but you'll find them in your local do-it-yourself shop. I believe they're called cutting in brushes, and they've got this sort of angled line at the top of the brush. They've been cut at an angle, the bristles. Well, they're synthetic. I think these are nylon. They're not that expensive either, but they worked a treat for this technique. And I'm also using one of my old do-it-yourself paint brushes, and this is really rough. This is a bristle brush, but it's really rough, and it's great for background texture too. So I'm using that one. So starting off with the Age Mahogany ink and the rough brush. Take off as much as you can from the brush on the side of your paper, on copy paper, and then starting in the middle, right on the edge, just going down about 1.5 inches, like so. Not too thickly, don't want the colour to be too strong. So that really, that blob is just your base. And then I'm going to use, what shall I use next? Scattered Straw next, I think, and my T-square. So I have a T-square. I'm trying to keep it straight. Coming down just from the middle, so it's just below the middle line. And then using one of these cut-in brushes, or whatever they're called. I think they're for doing around light switches and things, aren't they? So Scattered Straw, and that's going to be my first line over. Always starting at that left-hand side edge and coming across, not quite to the right-hand side. You will find as well that you will get little lines where the ink pools on the T-square or ruler if you use one. I like that. I like the line that's showing the little bit of ink that's extra at the bottom, and I'm going to leave it. I mean, if you want to wipe it off your T-square, then now's your chance. Now I'm going to use Tumbled Glass and the second of these smaller brushes. Pop pop that in, and this one I'm going to make this line even longer. So I'm looking for 3 lines. That will give me this sort of the background landscape. Don't worry if your lines aren't straight to start with, because we're going to add to them, or take away actually. We're going to do a bit of work with an eraser. So quite liking that blue. Yeah, you see all that line where the ink pooled on the bottom of the T-square? I mean, I love it. I'm going to clean it off now because I'm going into a pinky colour, but I'm not touching that. I'm liking that. Got a few flecks of something or other there. So I'm just leaving that. I think it's a nice contrast. Okay. So now it's Victorian Velvet. And I'm going to use the last of the brushes, my large one. You can carry on with the smaller ones if that's all you've got. I mean, they do these angled paint brushes, don't they? I'm sure probably a lot of you have got those already. Proper artist brushes. Right. So now I'm coming out with the Victorian Velvet. I'm not going anywhere near as long as I did with the blue. So you've got different lengths, like so. Now that is more or less the same length as the scattered straw one. Can't be having that. So back to the scattered straw, change brushes, and let's put a bit more of that in. So it's not as long as the blue, but it's longer than the pink. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So that's the start of the abstract landscape. Oh dear. All right. Back to the T-square, and now I'm going to put in an impression of land with a pencil. Yep, I know. I've got 1 and a bit, 2, 3, keep them close together if I can, 4, I don't really want that bigger gaps, 5, see I want it quite chunky bit of land there. There's about 7 lines altogether, quite reasonably close together, and all different widths going across, so you know they all look totally different. So that's, we'll come back to that in a little while. Next I'm going to add a bit more, if I can find the brush, a bit more scattered straw to this area here. Just want to lighten that up a little. Makes it a bit orangey, that. And then going down over the top of your land. I don't know why I'm calling it that, because it's just 7 pencil lines, but you know what I mean. Yeah, oh, don't worry about me. So then that's just a little bit more there, look, at the bottom. But keeping it well to one side. That's not bad. Now, before I do anything else, we're going to put some definition and a little bit of shadow and highlights into your landscaped area. So starting off with this top bit, just going to take out some of the colour. And I've got a clean brush to remove the bits with. And then I'm going to take out some of the colour here of that blue, and it adds texture to the background and gives it a sort of artsy distress look. And then I'm taking out a bit of that as well. And then at the bottom here, a little bit of colour going there. like so. And then finally, in this bit, I just want to remove some of this red and see the white cardstock coming through underneath. And that's giving me another look altogether as well. It's looked really vintage or distressed. And that's what I'm after. Now, I'm going to hold this up, or actually I'm going to bring the camera down to you so you can see this. Can you see that? So it's taken the colour out and given me a bit more of a landscapey look. We're not finished with that yet, but I want to get the stamping in first before we finish off with the fiddly diddly bits. I have my leaf, maple leaf. This is one of the first stamps that I ever purchased from Lavinia Stamps, and I love it. So I'm using the Seafarer Archival, first generation. I'm just trying to find my card so I know where I'm putting this stamp. All right, okay, so it's going like that, up to the top, as it twisted around a bit, and coming down like so. I'm committed now, so hopefully it's in the right place. Yeah, some of the ink hasn't come out properly. I don't care, it all adds to it. So that's that. Then I'm going to go in with a second generation. I didn't do this on the original card, and I wish I had. So this is my opportunity, because this teal second generation is just so pretty. Look, isn't that gorgeous? I really love that. Now I'm going to get the orange blossom, and this orange blossom really will come out with a greenish tone unless you wipe the stamp off. So if you want orange, then clean your maple leaf stamp first. I'm not bothered about green tones, so I'm sticking with what I've got. And then I'm just looking to see this, and this is coming down here like so. It's just touching. My stamp is, one of the leaves is just touching the blue of the teal leaf. And it is sort of green tones, but I just love it. So I'm not at all concerned about that, and it hasn't ruined my ink pad either. So I'm okay. Right, next, the words. Now I'm going to use Aged Mahogany on this, Distress ink, because I don't want them to be too overpowering. So let's clear some of this mess away and find the stamp, and here it is, and this is Words of Spring, I believe this is called. Yeah, Words of Spring. It's on the block already. I'm using Aged Mahogany. And I'm going to go second generation first. Second generation first. Right, I'm just taking one off, and I'm going to pop that in the middle. Like so. I think that will be just about right. I'm not going to press down too heavily. If I only get a word here and there, I'll be quite happy. That's not bad. And then not putting any more ink on it, up the top, and pressing down on that, And I think that I'm leaving it there. Now I've got a little bit of ink there that is very, very red now. I might go over that with a white pen just to knock that back, because that G is right in my face now, and it's spoiling the balance of my card for me. It's the little things that matter, you know, isn't it always? Right, next. Where's my brush gone? Here it is. So see where the ink has splodged? So I want to remove that splodgy bit. So I'm taking this white pen and just going to go over that a little, just to knock it back. Right, so it doesn't notice quite as much, and as the ink dries and goes into the card, that will look even less. So I'm happy now with that. It's not quite as bad. That splodge there is, you probably can't see that, but I can. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm quite liking what I've got there. There's another piece of clean copy paper, like so. And I'm going to put in some white onto my leaves here. Bring them up. Not being too careful, just roughly. Like so. And where the pencil lines are, which I must admit you can't see them very well, I've put some more white, make it look like a bit of, it's a, it's ground with water on it. And again, I'm still being caught by this word here that is still too dark with the ink, and so I've put some more white on that as well, and I need to blot it because it's going to smear otherwise. I think I might even have made it worse. I have. So let's see how magic this magic eraser is then, because I don't like that, so I'm going to get rid of it totally. Now, you have to make trouble before you get rid of it. So I've smeared it all. And you're all going, oh my word. And I'm going, be confident. But not feeling confident. I just don't like the colour of that. It was too much. Anyway, it's going now. I don't know, though, as I've said before, this multifarious cardstock will take this punishment. It's beautiful without going into holes, but I don't know if other cardstocks would be as forgiving. That, I think, is acceptable. There you go. I think I'm okay with that. It's not as bad as it was. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place, knock it back with the rubber rather than waste time with all that ink and unnecessary stress. But it got there in the end. So it's now a gold pen, gold sparkle pen. If I can find one. like so. And then I have 3 polychromos pencils, but you can use any colour pencils you like. So I'm just going to pop in some more goldy bits. Now that white ink pen has dried on the leaves, going over the top with a little bit of gold on each one. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's looking very pretty actually. And then taking a very pale pink, I'm just going to highlight the bottom of that pink strip. I'm going to highlight the bottom, just a gentle shade of blue to bring that back up, just the bottom of the blue one. And then I've got, oh, I want this orange one for this one. And I think that we're done. Ah, missed something. Always do. Taking a cloth and wiping hands, I have my seafarer round the edges. Like so. And then I will take a card blank. I mean, I know this is my original card. I'll take a card blank and I'll just take a normal piece of A4 sheet of white cardstock, not multifarious for the card blank, because it's rather precious to me, multifarious. And I will crease it, cut it to 10 by 15 centimetres, and then wet glue over the top. And stick it to my original card, like so. Sorry to be so fussy with all this rubbing out, but I just can't stand marks on my card where they shouldn't be. So I'm a bit of a diva regarding that, I'm afraid. Okay, I really enjoyed doing that. Where's my board? There it is. So that's the one that I did and posted earlier. This is the one that I've just completed. They're obviously not the same, but you get the idea. And I hope that you enjoyed that, because I certainly did. I'm going to do that other card for you. I will do this one and I will post that as soon as they're both completed. I'll pop that on there for now to give you a better idea of how that looks. There you go. Shall we have a close-up? Why not? That looks a bit dark, that close-up. So I think we'll go back, shall we? Indeed. Thanks ever so much for looking, everyone. And I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.